Bless up, bless down. I'm Mastermind statements. Don't you give up on yourself. Let's go. Right now, some of the richest people on the planet due to oil are Charles and David Koch. They have an estimated net worth of $40.6 billion. I'm going to tell you a story, and it's going to help you to understand why you don't need to give up on yourself, why you should not give up on yourself. And the story that I tell you is unrelated to Charles and David, but it's very similar. It has to do with oil. Imagine it's the 20th century, the turn of the 20th century, early 1900s. This is a time frame where people are just, their cash is running low, crops are drying up, crops are dying, and their farm animals are dying. There's sicknesses, there's famine that's going on across the land. And people are having a hard time feeding their families. And so they're seeking any type of way to feed their families. It sounds like times like right now, everybody's having to figure it out. There's two brothers. They hear about an opportunity where there's oil in the land, but you have to find it. They're hearing these rumors that the oil is so rich in this land that you could smell the oil. In certain places, you can see the oil seeping through the ground up. And so they're like, we got to look into this. We got to check this out. We've got to feed our families. We need money. And this is an opportunity also to get rich. And so they set out with their tools to go find this land. And when they get to this land, they don't really see much opportunity. They start getting down, they start getting discouraged. And they start digging, they start drilling for this oil. They start scouring the land, surveying the land. They're there for one day. That one day turns into 7 days. They're in the blazing hot sun. Now they're at a month. They're at 2 months, still out here, surviving the best they can. They know that time is almost up. They need to get back to their families. They spent enough time out here looking for that oil. And so one day they decide to give up. They stop. And they go back home. The very next day, another set of brothers go to the same area, and they're out there surveying the land and drilling that land. They see no opportunity themselves. Something within them tells them that they need to continue on. They continue on. And what they realize is that just 1 foot away from the stopping place of the last two brothers, oil began to seep up through the cracks of the ground. The last two brothers were only 1 foot away from oil, 1 foot away from riches, 1 foot away from feeding their families, 1 foot away from generational wealth. But they gave up. And somebody came right behind them and got what they left there, that opportunity, because they decided to give up. Just 1 foot away from oil could have changed their life. 1 foot away from continuing on could have changed generations. Could have put them in position, because you got to understand, this is the turn of the century. Find that oil means wealth forever, generational wealth. Had they continued on and not given up, they wouldn't have to have gone back home and tell their families that they spent as much time as they did out there, and they're coming back home empty-handed, still in the same position, and things have gotten worse back at home. This story right here should encourage you to understand that you do not need to, you better not give up on yourself. If you give up on yourself, you're going to find out that somebody's going to come right behind you and achieve what you want to accomplish. while you're sitting on the sidelines saying that could have been me. This story happens every single day across this planet. Don't you ever think about giving up on yourself. When that thought comes into your mind, cut it off. Cut it off quickly. Cut it off so quickly. Those thoughts are there to distract you. Those thoughts are there to make you a drifter with no vision. When you're focused on that vision, you continue on until the job is done. You don't stop. Stopping is not an option. It's like going to war. You're leaving one island, which is your home base, and you're going to another island where the war is taking place at. As you're talking to your men as a leader, as you're talking to the people that's on the boat, the soldiers that's on the boat, you let them know, once we get there, we got to burn our ship. We're not going back. There's no retreat. We don't care how tough it gets. We have a mission to accomplish on this other island. We are going to war and we're going back winning. For any ship we're coming back on the ship of our enemies. Our ship, we're burning it. There's no retreat. There's no retreating back. You've got to understand that when you're in for something, and you're in something for yourself, you must go forward. There is no stopping. There is no retreat. What's that thing right now that you know that you're in the middle of, but you feel like you're drowning? Feel like you're drowning. Feel. That's the key word. You feel like you're drowning. You're not drowning. You feel like it. You feel like it, but you're not. It's just a feeling. Stick with it. There's no retreat. There's no surrender. You're only 1 foot away from oil. You are 1 foot away from oil. You are 1 foot away from changing your life. You don't know that if you wake up the next morning and you continue to go on, if that could change everything for you in that particular moment. And you're going to look back and you say, you know what? This was well worth the wait. But when you give up and you sit back and you're reflecting and you're seeing somebody else carry that torch and they're having success and able to take care of the household, they're able to purchase this house, purchase this car, have all their bills paid off, go on these vacations, enjoy themselves, take care of the debts, and you're sitting there wondering, man, I should have kept going. All that's going to do is going to make you feel resentful, angry, depressed, push you further into a tailspin. You've got to make sure that you set your eyes on what you came to accomplish and realize that if it's just you, you got to do what you got to do. If you got to recruit other people that's like-minded and do the same thing, but you guys got to be all on one mindset, one goal, so that there is nobody that's trying to duck out when things get tough. If this sounds good to you so far, hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, comment. We got to get these videos out for other people to be blessed and to hear this information and to be empowered. This is good food right here. I don't want you giving up. The people that are dependent on you, they don't want you to give up, even though it's tough. Yeah, it can get tough out here. But don't let that overpower the benefits, the end of that race. You know, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. You already know when you set out that a marathon is going to be a long run. If you know that from the outset, you've got to put things in place to help you to continue on. You got to work on your mindset. That's one thing. Work on your mindset. Can't be around negativity. Negativity is going to slow you down. You don't have time to be thinking about nothing, dealing with negative stuff and foolishness while you're trying to pursue something. Get that foolishness out your way. Cut that foolishness off. Somebody that's foolish, get them people away from you. Stay away from them. Block them if you have to. Get them away from you. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of your life. It's a waste of your future. Again, you got people depending on you. You definitely got to stay. You got to stay in the right mindset. You just can't be out here just being drifting, going here, going there, doing this, doing that. You got to be focused. You're on a path. You running a marathon, but you running on a different path. You running off the path. You getting off the track. I don't think so. You can't be distracted by foolishness that's going on in the stands. You should only be empowered by that good energy that people are telling you from the stands. The people that's in the crowd, people that's cheering you on. That's the only thing that you should be entertaining. But don't let that just be your only power. Empower yourself. You are 1 foot away from oil. Stick with it. Hang in there. You could take a break from time to time, but don't let that break turn into something permanent. I know for a fact that you got it within you to continue on and to be the greatest. You'll sit back 5 years from now and say, you know what? I seen this guy on YouTube and he gave me this message and I'm so glad I listened. I'm so glad that I listened to him. I'm so glad that I listened to him. He seemed like a new YouTuber at the time, but I had enough common sense to understand that being new on YouTube doesn't mean that the information is new. This information right here. This is information that's been around for centuries. What I'm telling you right now is information I just downloaded that information, and I'm just giving you the information. Don't look at the numbers on YouTube. That means nothing. What I'm telling you is solid information. This information right here is worth a lot. Spread the information. Tell somebody else the same thing. Tell them the story. Do not give up. Because I know you have success before. You've had success in something before. Lean on that success. If you have success one time, you can have success again. It doesn't change. Continue on. Be the best that you can be. And as always, fly a kite, be free, and keep winning.